Hello friends, long time no see. So I haven't made a video for the past 2 weeks because 2 weeks ago today, Thursday, was March 2nd. I was in Walt Disney World in Orlando to audition for the Disney College program. And last week I was just super sick and I feel like you guys really didn't want to hear my super sick voice. So I'm here with a video this week to tell you all about my process so far in applying for the Disney College program. So from what I've heard, this process has been a lot different than it has been in the past. So I applied the morning of January 24th. I applied at like 8 in the morning. As soon as applications opened, I woke up and, oh my god, I have an eye booger. Also, shout out to my MU babes, you know who you are. So I applied on Tuesday, January 24th. 5 days a week, I work a job that I start at 9 in the morning. I woke up at 7:30 for some reason, and I looked at my phone, and I had an email from the Disney College Program Recruiting that they had opened applications for the Fall 2017 and Fall Advantage 2017 term. I cannot speak. That's why I don't film these videos. I can't speak. So I immediately filled out an application for Fall Advantage and Fall for Walt Disney World and Disneyland because honestly I'm going to take whatever they give me because it's Disney. I don't really care. The reason I waited so long to apply, I'm 20 years old, so I've been able to apply, like I graduated high school at 18, so I've really been able to apply since I was 18, but this is the first time I really felt confident enough to apply, if that makes sense. Like I feel like very sure of myself and confident, and I've got a really good support system going on right now, so I just felt really good about it all. So I'm really making this video to show kind of my friends and family who have a lot of questions about the Disney College program, how the process works, what's going on, where I am. So I applied on January 24th. I said again earlier, I applied at like 7 or 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, so I wasn't really like fully awake, and I hadn't looked up the application process at all. So I filled out my application, and then I got the thank you for applying email, and I was in submission. And I didn't really know what submission meant, and it wasn't until I joined the Facebook page and other people were posting about being in submission that I kind of realized what being in submission meant, and it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it wasn't necessarily a good thing. So basically when you're put into submission, your application didn't stand out enough for the online system to pick it up. If I would have known this, I would have done my application so differently and I would have researched it so much more. But basically I didn't have enough keywords in my job descriptions or my volunteer descriptions that really made me stand out as a strong candidate for the computer to recognize. So when you're in submission, from what I understand, you're basically waiting for someone to look at your application and decide that you're worthy of working for Disney. I realized I realized what submission was about a week into it, and all I'd seen on the page was people saying that they never got out of submission. They went into submission the first day the applications opened, and the day the applications end, they got the no longer in consideration email. So I was so scared that's what was gonna happen to me, but then I kept on saying, no, they'll take me out of submission. I'm a really strong candidate. I love Disney. I'm an annual pass holder. This is perfect for me. I wanted to do it for so long. They're gonna take me out. And that was for the first 2 weeks. And then I spent another 2 weeks in submission just seeing, that's when the acceptances started going out, I think, 2 or 3 weeks in. And then I was just telling myself, I'm not going to get out of submission. I never will. Like, people don't get out of submission. What are you talking about? There was a small submission wave of people getting out of submission, but I think it was very small and I wasn't in it. And then on February 23rd, I was at my boyfriend's house and I was sitting in his mom's room with him and his mom, and I looked at my email and I had another thank you for applying email. And I was like, that's so weird. Maybe they just send it like a month after you apply, because it really was like almost a month to the day after I applied. And then his mom said, oh no, look on your online portal, see if something is different. So I looked on the online portal and I didn't really like see anything different. But when I went on to like job status, and where it used to say submission, it said action required. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got out of submission and I got a web-based interview. I can't believe this. This is so great. I like really couldn't believe it, because at that time I was already thinking, okay, I'll apply in spring. I'm not gonna get fall. No way whatsoever. So I was freaking out, and I got the email, like, let me look. Gotta check my VIP folder because Disney is my only VIP. Okay, so on the 23rd at 4:28, I was pulled out of submission, and that's when I got the thank you for applying email again. And then on the 23rd at 5:41, I got the email that said immediate action required, web-based interview. So I was like, yes, I finally got accepted. I get to do the web-based interview. Like, I was stoked. I have never interviewed for a job that I haven't gotten. Like, every job I've ever interviewed for, I've gotten. So I was like, I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna do great. I sat with my boyfriend in his room and I did the web-based interview. And like, when you do the web-based interview, it's very confusing because you don't really know what to put. The questions kind of trick you, and some of them will say, oh, I'm capable of working on my own, or oh, I love working in a team. So it's like, do you want to say that you can be individualistic so that you can, is that even a word? Do you want to say that you can work on your own so that Disney knows that you're independent and you're not like, you don't need to rely on people? Or do you want to say that you work better in a group so Disney thinks you're more group oriented? Some questions were like, I bring my work life into my personal life. And you kind of wanted to put like strongly disagree, because I leave my work life at work and I leave my personal life at my personal life. But then you wanted to be like strongly agree, because you wanted to say, oh, I love my work so much, I talk about it all the time in my personal life. So it was kind of confusing. The biggest thing was just remembering to be consistent in your answers. And I've seen people who failed their interviews because Disney asks you questions like, are you generally a happy person? And they put strongly disagree. Well, if you're working at the happiest place on earth, they want people who are generally happy. So obviously that's going to make you fail the interview. So it's kind of just like evaluating who you are and evaluating who they're looking for and finding like a common ground. So after you do the web-based interview, you immediately find out if you pass or if you fail, which was like the hardest part for me, because I was like, I know immediately if I'm going to get in or not, because if you fail the web-based interview, there's no chance of you getting into the program that term. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to know immediately. And I pressed the final submit button and it said, congratulations, you passed. And I was like, yes, this is the happiest day of my life. So I was super stoked. And then me, my boyfriend, and his mom, we all went to Ross and Publix, which if you don't live in Florida, Publix is like heaven. They have it in other states except for Florida, but you know, it's like a Florida thing. But we went to Publix and Ross, and while we were walking around Ross, I booked my phone interview for the only day that was available. I work like every weekday until around 4:30, so I like work all day, and those are a lot of times that were available. And the latest that I could book, I booked my phone interview that night, so I booked it the night of the 23rd. And the latest that I could book was March 2nd. But March 2nd, I had a character performer audition at Walt Disney World in Orlando, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. So I booked it on March 1st, and at the only time I could do it where I wouldn't be at work, which was 7:15 p.m. So I was like super stressed out. I have like a mirror I keep on my desk to do my makeup, and I had little sticky notes all around there like, breathe, stay calm, be confident, you got this. If you know my mom, you can ask her. I was pacing around our apartment singing The Eye of the Tiger. I was so scared because I've never done an interview over the phone. I've only done them in person, so I was like really freaking out. And it was like Disney, which is like my favorite thing in the world. So it was like, oh, I was so scared. And I had a whole sheet of my top 5 roles and 3 different reasons why I would be perfect for those roles, and why I should work for Disney. And I was so prepared, and I had this big sheet with all of these answers on it, and she asked me none of them. So she called me today. I think I took a screenshot, but I don't get a lot of calls, so my phone interview was scheduled for 7:15, but it says online that they can call you 30 minutes prior or 30 minutes after your scheduled time. So she called me at 7:09, and I was like ready from like 6:45, like 30 minutes in advance. I was sitting at my desk giving myself a pep talk in my mirror. Like, she asked me if I had any situations with a guest at work that made me feel uncomfortable and how I handled them. She asked me what jobs I thought I was most qualified for. She asked me about the character performer auditions. She asked me why I think I wanted to work at Disney. But when she asked me what my top roles were, she asked me what my top 2 were. And I told her, if I don't get character performer, my top 2 roles are character attendant and the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And she didn't ask me any questions about them. It was like the end of the phone call. And I asked her how long she'd been working at Disney, how she got her start with the Disney college program. She was so nice. She made me feel very comfortable. Like, as soon as I got on the phone, all the nerves were gone. And then I left literally as soon as that phone interview was done. I drove 3 hours to Orlando and went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning and went straight to character auditions. So I was fortunate enough to audition at Disney World, which is like great. So we went to the character performer, like the Animal Kingdom training facility for the shows. And while we were there, they were actually doing a rehearsal for the Festival of the Lion King. So we were there, and everyone was just super nice. I met a really great group of people there, and I'm friends with them now. Like, we have each other's phone numbers and Snapchats and stuff. And like you go there thinking you're not going to make any friends there, but everyone there is like in the same position as you. Like, most of them, this will be their first audition, and like they're just as scared as you are. So it kind of like creates such a good bond, especially because you guys already have something in common by loving Disney, by being there. So that's pretty cool. I was number 64, and when I got there, they took the first 50 people into a room, and then they walked out. Like, the people who had gotten cut walked out, and then they took the next 50. We went into the room, we learned 16 beats of a dance, and then we did the dance 3 times across the floor in front of the casting director. And the casting director was looking at your height, was looking at your build, was looking at like how well you moved, how well you could engage an audience, and at the end you all sit down. She congratulates you, said you did a really good job, and then she calls out the numbers of who like was taken, what like she wanted. And unfortunately, I was cut in the first round. I think it was just because I was too nervous and like I was overthinking it in my head. But there's always next time. It was such a great learning experience. I definitely like would love to go back again and do it, because it was just such a great experience, and I got to meet so many great people. So today is March 16th. It has been 15 days since my phone interview, and I've heard nothing back yet, but I am not losing hope. I can hear back until April 15th, I think. So I am holding out hope, and I will keep you guys updated on my Disney College Program life. And if I do not get in this time, I will not be upset, because this whole situation of applying has been such a great experience. And the people I've met through the Facebook page, the audition, and like group chats that I'm in, they're just great people. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was somewhat informative to my family and friends that have a lot of questions about the process that I've been going through and what I've been dealing with, kind of with trying to get everything settled with the Disney College Program. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe down below. I will be more consistent with my videos every Thursday. And next Thursday is, I'm sorry if you don't like Disney, but is going to be a Disney vlog. But thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye.